Hey everybody, my name is Jen and this is Jen Geigley Knits. Hope your weekend is off to a good start, or whenever you are watching this, hope you're having a great day, evening, whatever. I am going to be getting into a bunch of different topics for this episode, so buckle up. I'm going to be talking about if you have looked at Ravelry in the past couple of weeks, it got weird. I'm going to get into it because I was accidentally part of it by accident. I'll get into it in a minute. I'm going to be talking about our best fiber friends hangout. We're having a knitting day today in real life. It's happening today in Des Moines this afternoon. I will be showing that next week. I'll tell you about my sweater that I'm wearing. I have some fun pottery to share. It's like the most exciting thing of my week. And I'm going to get into a little bit of my planner stuff that we talked about last time. A lot of people said, please show more of that. So I'm going to show you how I do some of my planner pages and my notebooks and whatever. If you want to see some of that, I'm going to get into a little bit of that. And I think that's mostly it. I'll talk about some of my whips. But let's start off with the Ravelry Hot Right Now chaos. If you are a frequent Raveler, and I am, you might have noticed in the past couple of months, and then definitely like last week, it got weird in Hot Right Now. And my friend Erica and I discovered the reason why it was weird was because of Reddit, and maybe a knitting Facebook group was part of this as well, but mostly Reddit, I think, because there was quite a few Reddit threads that we discovered under the knitting thing, and then also under Craft Snark, that people were posting the most unhinged patterns they'd ever seen on Ravelry. And somehow my Warmthness sweater was part of this because people were messaging me like, your Warmthness is on Hot Right Now. And yeah, if you looked at it, it was amongst all these other some of them are not safe for work. I'm not going to share those. But right here, I'm going to put some pictures of some of the funny patterns that were popping up on Hot Right Now because everybody was clicking over from Reddit. It makes it really easy to like click over to Ravelry. And so if you witnessed some of this and you were like, what is going on? A lot of us were. So I set out to find why my Warmthness pattern was part of this. And I kind of knew right away when I saw some of the other sweaters, especially this particular one that has like some spiky texture. Someone had listed my Warmthness pattern as an unhinged pattern. And I get it. It's a weird sweater. Underneath, it's a plain basic drop shoulder sweater, but when you add the flaps, people had joked when I was posting about it in the beginning that they were boob flaps, and I don't see it that way, but I get why it was part of this unhinged collection of patterns because it is very different. But the comments about it, which I will put here on Reddit, were very like funny and kind, and they were all like, why? I don't know why anybody's knitting it without the little flaps, and then something else, but it was like not like mean at all, and I'm not offended at all. I'm kind of honored to be amongst these wackadoodle patterns. Some of them are out there and some of them are actually pretty cool, and I'm also honored that I was out there with the Deegan eyeball sweater because I love the Deegan patterns and they're a little bit out there too, which I admire. I find knitwear that is artistic like that is some of my favorite things to look at. You know, it's just very enjoyable. Even if it's something you wouldn't wear normally all the time yourself, you've got to admire these patterns that are different and push, outside the box a bit. So the Deegan eyeball sweater was on there, my Warmthness was on there, and then all these various other patterns that were I'm not going to share the worst ones. There were some that were a little bit inappropriate. I'm not going to get into all that here, but some of them you can still find on Hot Right Now. Some are still popping up from these older threads, and some of them you can find. If you want, I'll put the Reddit thread link below and you can go look for yourself. The reason this all started, it was like a snowball. It was like a little funny journey that like a rabbit hole that I slowly went down. The first thing that was related to this at all that I didn't realize until later and didn't put it together as I was figuring this out was, okay, a guy that I don't even know if I follow, must be a knitter, posted these Ninja Turtle vintage knitting patterns in a reel on Instagram. And I was like, oh, because my son, if you remember, loves anything turtle related and loves Ninja Turtles, and we collect things. He loves the old toys and like anything turtle related. And then these knitting patterns are incredible. So immediately after I saw his reel, I went and I found one of these on eBay and one on Etsy. And these books are amazing. This one even has a little note inside from, it must be like the yarn store. It must be like some errata or little corrections or notes. Oh yeah, this is like how to amend the basic jumper pattern to make it smaller. And so this is like stapled inside. This is from the UK, and I believe this is from 1990. And the pictures are amazing, and they're really well done for intarsia. This, or you could maybe do duplicate stitch. These are incredible. They are true to the characters. They look, even the back has the turtles. There's so many different ones in here. Look at that. The posing, the models, it's just like the very best. So I think it's like different plain sweaters that you can add your turtles to. There's even pillows. And so I immediately had to find this, and I'm so glad I got like a real hard copy, because I love digital patterns too, but I love having a hard actual copy of a thing like this that, and it's in really good shape. It's like an 80s like storybook, like that, I don't know, glossy cover. The UK price was $2.95, and yeah, I think it's from 89 or 90. Let me see, I think it said 1990. It's incredible. It's just, there's a lot in there. And then there's another one that I found I really also liked, because the turtle heads are bigger, and I thought they were really, like, these are really well done. There's a couple more. And this one is intarsia, and they use intarsia picture grids. And I don't know if I've ever seen anything like this. Reminds me of like cross stitch patterns. Look at this. So this book isn't like the full color pictures, but it's all these really intricate charts. This is no joke. And so, I mean, will I ever do this? I don't know, but here I have the option, and I can, if Bowie ever really, really wants. Look at that, a Ninja Turtle sweater. I'm able to, I have all the resources now. And this one's from 1990 also. 1990 Mirage Studios, licensed and copyright Ninja Turtles. It's like official Ninja Turtle licensed patterns. So yeah, this is where the whole thing started, because someone had put this book or pictures from the book, or maybe it's Ravelry pictures from the book, in that Reddit thread. So I think, I don't know, this all came together in the weirdest way. So yeah, my warmthness was amongst things like this and just weird patterns. And, you know, there I am smiling in my warmthness sweater next to like a guy in a knitted G-string. So it's just been like a funny little, like Erica and I were texting back and forth about this. My friend Christine Mini Mobius was like, your warmthness is on there. She's like, I didn't take a screenshot because the things around it were a little questionable. And I was like, yeah, I know. I've noticed that. And it took me a minute to figure out what was going on, but it was Reddit. And the power of things like that, the power of Reddit, or, you know, just the internet, Facebook groups, the things when everybody clicks on something together, that it changes the whole Ravelry Hot Right Now. It's just kind of incredible. But it was kind of fun, and I was honored to be part of it. And I'm honored that my kind of weird sweater was like considered weird enough to be a little bit unhinged. So as I mentioned, today in real life, my friend Kat, Erica, and I are hosting a knitting event. We planned it a while ago. We got a new, bigger space than our other knitting event, which was a little bit smaller, so we could open it up to more people and have more space to spread out. It's this really cool place called Mainframe. We got a room in there, and I'm really excited to just like set it up and see how it goes, and hopefully have more of these in the future. We planned this a while ago, but we didn't realize now how much we would really need each other and need some time to knit together and need that community. So we hope to build that and provide that for our local friends and for ourselves even, because it just feels like the right time to gather with like-minded people and to knit together. We also open it up to every craft. So you can knit, you can crochet, you can stitch, you can cross stitch, you can embroider, you can hand quilt, you can do anything you want to bring. We open it to all crafts. So I'm really excited to have that today and just hang out with some people and be together and support each other. And I think that's one little thing we can do right now, is little things like that until we know what to do next. I think we can support each other and be together, at least in that way. So I will show video from that next time. And yeah, I hope there's more of this to come. Also, the sweater I am wearing today is the Daytripper Cardigan by Mary J. Mucklestone from her Modern Daily Knitting Field Guide a few years ago. I've lost track of time of how long ago this was. This is knitted in Léttlopi, and I love this cardigan, and I do not wear it enough. It is perfect in every way. I've thought several times about changing out these buttons, but they do kind of go with this rust color here. And so I don't hate them, but I feel like they're a little bit big sometimes. But it's just a great cardigan. I love that for some reason the size I chose is just right, and it kind of stays like this. Like some cardigans like do this all the time, but this one just kind of stays put, and it's just so cozy for these winter days. And it's been so cold here. It's been like a high of 3 degrees, a high of 5 degrees. It's been way below zero each night, where we have to leave all of our cupboards open if there's any sinks that face the exterior wall, because we don't want our pipes to freeze. We had a delay in school one day because it was too cold for kids to walk to school. And so we were delayed by 2 hours, and then it was still so cold. So Lopey is the way to go for these cold winter days. And I love this sweater. It has like the little designs here. So it has the designs here on the sleeve. I made it a little bit longer than sometimes I do. Sometimes I like it up here, but I like the length of this. And I just love this cardigan, and I want to make more like this. And this is a definite contender for Iceland because it is perfect. It's kind of that style. And I think I'm just going to bring all my Lopey sweaters, and I have a few now. So this is just a great fit. And if you're looking for a little color work Lopey cardigan, this is a great one. Also, this sweater is the first sweater I ever steeked, and a Lopey sweater is the perfect, I think, first project to do that with. Anytime you're steeking, you have to use pure wool, but Lopey's super sticky, and it worked really well. And it just came out so nicely. Like I barely even tried with my edges, and look how cute. They're just kind of folded under and stitched down. And then I've got, my buttons on top, which I'm not sold on these buttons. I put these on a long time ago, and I'm wondering if they'd look better with black buttons. Tell me in the comments your opinion. I don't know. They're cute. They have like a little design. It's like almost like a flower, but I don't know. I feel like they're a little too big, and maybe black would look better, or maybe it needs that contrast. I don't know. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I just wanted to show you my steeks and how well this is held up, and steeking is really fun. For my steek, I did not do the crocheted reinforcement. I did the needle felting kind, and it was fun. So I have that little needle felting tool that goes into the little, it's like a bristle brush cushion. And I literally slid, because this was before the steek, it was like a sweater that was connected. And so I went down the line of center stitches, which is marked by these, it looked like this in the middle. And I felted, gosh, can you even see? I think the felted edge is underneath, but I felted the edge until it felt almost chewy. Like it was dense, very felted, just in that one stripe. And then the most satisfying thing ever is taking a sharp scissors and cutting straight down that steek, or up or down or whatever. I don't think you can really even see the felting. And I was really worried that you'd be able to. You cannot tell at all that I did that. And then it just folds under when you flip it and add your button band, and it's just magic. And I highly recommend that method if you're ever gonna steek, especially on Lopey or any wool, I guess. But that, I just want to tell my steeking story. So this is Daytripper by Mary J. Mucklestone. You can find it on Ravelry and in her Modern Daily Knitting Field Guide, which I highly recommend picking up because it's full of good stuff. Mittens, hats, everything. This week has been rough, like no other. I don't even have to get into it because I know you know. But one bright spot in my week was this surprise in the mail, and I am over the moon about this. This is like the best thing ever. This is a beautiful yarn bowl, handmade by Lisa from Pip Daddy Pottery, and look how gorgeous. It is absolutely amazing. So she puts these leather handles on. It's the most genius thing. I love the modern look of these. They feel so good. They are so much fun. I just love this. So I met Lisa 2 years ago at Rhinebeck, 2 or 3 years ago. And she's friends with my friend Melanie Fallick, and she makes beautiful pottery. So she also makes mugs. Go follow her on Instagram at Pip Daddy Pottery. I'll put it below and I'll put the link below. She makes incredible everything, like cat mugs, these skeleton mugs she made for Halloween, but she made black and white yarn bowls at one of the Rhinebeck events a couple of years ago. And I was obsessed with these, but I was also worried that it wouldn't survive in my suitcase. I think I was really overpacked that year, and I didn't think I had enough room to bring it home. I just didn't know how to do it. So it's like my biggest regret is I didn't get one while I was there. I just should have like stuck it in my backpack or something, my carry-on. But it doesn't matter because now, now I have one. I don't know if she currently has a bunch of these in stock or anything, but follow her because she has a website and she does updates and she makes different things for shows and then she sells them and different things. And I think she was testing this with me to see how they would ship because I think it's tricky to ship pottery. So she might be just figuring that out. But go follow Pip Daddy Pottery. She does incredible everything and it's always kind of ever changing. It's just she's just a really fun person to watch because she's so creative. And I am obsessed with this yarn bowl. I do hope she makes more because they're just incredible. It's like the perfect weight, the perfect size, and so cool with this handle. I'm just obsessed. So thank you, Lisa, because I love this so much. It really made my week a little bit brighter. I'm also really excited after our event today. I have a sewing class I signed up for tomorrow with local quilting celebrity Ben Mullette. I have not met Ben before in real life, but I follow him on Instagram. He designs quilts. He is like an artist with fabric, and he's having a class that also is with pie bird pies. So we get little hand pies that I think are blueberry lemon. Like you get little treats and you're stitching these little, we're doing, I think, coasters. And so Kat, Erica, and I from Best Fiber Friends from our retreat signed up for this the next day. So I'm excited to do this sewing class tomorrow. I think little creative things like this are what's going to get us through these times. I know this sounds dumb and this doesn't fix anything. We need to be, engaged and active and doing, whatever we can to help our communities. And there's just so many serious things happening right now, but little creative things like this to kind of feed our spirit and our hearts and give us community again are just, I think it's a good thing. And so I'm excited to do this little sewing class. I do love stitching and hand, like sewing. I love those Alabama Shannon skirts and clothes that like years ago I made one of those skirts. So I love a little bit of stitching. I do want to get better at hand quilting. I do like machine stuff, but I don't do a lot of hand stuff. And I think that's another really soothing activity along with knitting that we can do that just feels like a good thing right now. So I'm excited for that class and I'm excited to meet Ben finally. So that's going to be awesome, I think. So a week ago, I met up with my friend Erica just for a quick coffee and catch up and knitting time. And she always has, I don't mean to like film every time we have coffee, but she always has really good projects to share. And she was making these really cool striped socks. And so I got a little bit of video of that. But the biggest surprise is she found us these little Lego people. It's a crazy cat lady with a yarn ball. And then we have like a little Lego resale store in town. And so she went there because it doesn't come with this hair. And she went and found hair for her and hair for me to go with our crazy cat ladies. Look how funny. And then she found coffee cups for us because we also need coffee with our yarn. Look at the face. So there's two little faces. This is like the frazzled face, like Do we match? And then I'll show you the other side of the face because it's just funny. This one's more like happy. Okay, here's the face on the other side. Is hilarious because she has black glasses and the funniest little face, and that is like as close as we can get to my hair, which is so funny, and a little white cat and a coffee cup and the yarn ball. So she brought these to Starbucks and I was dying. They're so funny. So it's in a blind bag or one of those little boxes where there's like many characters that you could get. But she found an app where you can scan the QR code on the bottom of the box so you can find your crazy cat lady / knitter. And I just thought it was the best. So hers has like dark hair like hers. And I'll just show you now because it is amazing and hilarious. And I love my little Lego lady.
I didn't go down a needle size.
It's amazing.
There's 2 extra rows on the front.
Oh my gosh. Erica, stop. Look at the log. He like took a bite of the log. Oh my gosh, it's amazing. Sorry. So let's talk about planners. If you want to talk about planners, I think it's a good time of year to kind of think about this and start this if you haven't already. You don't have to start on January 1st, and you can start this anytime that you want. And I firmly believe that your planner does not have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be like anyone else's. I treat mine more like a notebook, and anything can go on any page, and I don't care what order it goes in. I sometimes organize things with washi tape tabs, and I'll show you that in a little bit if you want to get into it. Let's get into it. My favorite planner, if I just had to pick, and I have too many this year, if I was going to pick one, I like the bullet journal style, and I like the Leuchtturm 1917. This is like the classic bullet journal. I don't know if I said that right. You know what I'm talking about. It's like the classic. It's like LEUGHT. I can't read it. Anyway, MDK has these planners in many colors on their website, and they are beautiful, and I love them. And it's fun to pick a different color every year, and you have a little shelf of these, and it has all your memories, and you know, I put knitting notes in there, but you can do, you know, all your life stuff. So let's take a look inside, and it's really dorky, and you don't have to do it this way, but this is just how I do it. But I am going to cover my contact info because I write my contact info on the first page. If the first page freaks you out, because it sometimes freaks me out, you can leave it blank and fill it in later, and then it's just always like not messed up for you, but you can do something with it later if you want to. I sometimes get paralyzed by first page, like I don't want to mess it up feelings, but I will usually pick a little like slogan for my year or something, a quote or anything that I feel like is nice. And there's like a little section here for your contact info. Like if you find this, please return to blah, blah, blah. And then I taped some things in this year, some scraps that I had laying around. This is like my author page from one of the backs of my books. So about the author, I just thought that was funny to like look back at that and put that in here. I stuck my little field notes 2025 calendar in here. And these are pages I'm going to come back to later, like these other side pages that it is like that blank thing in the beginning where I'll probably put something else there that I want to refer to a lot, but I don't know what that is yet. So I just leave it there for now. I love washi tape. I love taping things into my book. I also sometimes use a glue stick. I do have like a little plastic bin of supplies where I keep like a pen, scissors. I keep these little Muji pencil boxes that I make my pens and my highlighters in there because I use a highlighter later on. You'll see I have a little goal sticker book that is just really simple and has little stickers if I've like completed a task or if I need just a little something fun on a page. I just like stickers. I also save, as I totally bent my pages, I save little scraps and artifacts, especially when I'm traveling, like cute things like this, cute little tags from a museum I went to in California. Postcards. This is from the Des Moines Art Center that we did a project on in our art spectrums class, and that was just a really meaningful memory. And so I put little things like this in. This is from when I was at Rhinebeck. Greetings from upstate New York. And so I love sticking little things like that inside the pages just for fun. And sometimes I'll write something around it or write something next to it, or it's just like a fun little picture page in my book because I just like having that stuff. Speaking of picture pages, there's another one from one of my books that I just love that photo of all the yarn. It's just kind of inspires me with colors and, you know, something I love. Then I get to some weird pages where I just put stuff in. So in the beginning of my book, it's just a bunch of random stuff. And then I'll get to more like daily diary entries or calendar planning. And I kind of use my other planners for like calendar dates. I need to see that on calendar pages, and this doesn't have calendar pages. So this does, and that's why I have more than one journal. And if that's annoying and weird, you don't have to do all that. You don't have to do any of this. It's just kind of fun. But this is kind of my knitting and my process planning journal. And so I sometimes do like a look back at last year, and that's what this is. This was from a little workshop that there was like an online event with Modern Daily Knitting, and Felix, who did like a bullet journaling workshop, and someone said, I think Anne said, writing is your body thinking. And that was like a wow thing to me. It's writing is your body thinking. You know how like when you're studying for a test and you write down your notes and it helps you absorb information, and it is like your body doing it. So I don't know, I just thought that was a really cool statement. And then here's some, this is like a little note page that is like a printable that I found online. I'm also a graphic designer, so I sometimes make these for myself. But this is the year-end reflect and goal set kind of a worksheet, and I shrunk it down to fit in here and printed it out. And it says big things happen one day at a time. Here's just some little funny notes from last year. Some of my goals for last year that I decided it didn't really matter, and I wrote that like, you know, more, knit more, design more. It was all these things, more and more and more. And then I was like, does that even really matter? I don't know if it does. In hindsight, it's okay. So yeah, just some thoughts about this year and last year. I have a little knitting tracker. This is my favorite. I get to color in a circle for every day that I have knitted, and I'm using this for my MOSI sweater. So every day I knit on my MOSI, I get to highlight a little circle, and this I just wrote, knit every day, big things happen one day at a time, what will you do? I said knit every day on this little line, and commit to working on it every day this year, miss a day, let it go, shoot for progress, not perfection. This is just a cute little 2025 goal tracker, and it can be any goal. It can be taking a walk every day, or, you know, anything at all. And then we skip some pages, and I just did a quick year in review page where I wrote down everything I knit in 2024, and then I made a section for everything I sewed in 2024 because it was a lot this year. And so that was just a fun little thing to reflect on. And then I'll make a new page on a different page of this year's so I can keep track of it. Because sometimes I forget to put things in Ravelry too, or I don't know. So this is just kind of a nice little way to reflect on that, and then you'll start a new one for 2025. Okay, this is my to knit list, and this is only the first page. There's another page. I might have left extra pages, or I'll use the other page on the other side because this will overflow. My to knit list is huge. And I somehow think I can like get through all this in, you know, a year. It's not possible, but this is, and I'll put like little yarn notes beside it, or pattern notes, or anything I was trying to remember, like a yarn I had in mind that I wanted to try with this, or a yarn in my stash that I would like to use. So that is it for this, for like so far. So when I do this, I have like a few things, I'll jot things down in my notes app on my phone if I ever just randomly think of something I want to make, or I will also consult my Ravelry queue and add some things like favorites from there. So that's beginning of what I've done already. I mean, it's impossible, but someday I would like to knit a lot of these things on this list. Someday. Here is my MOSI Sweater timeline, which is top of mind at the beginning of this year. I'm sorry if you can hear my tortoise again. Every time it's super sunny, he gets more active because they really slow down in the winter. They almost like semi-hibernate, and you can force hibernate your tortoise, but we don't do that because it kind of freaks me out, like if I killed my tortoise by accident by hibernating him. So he loves the sun, and he gets real like clunky in there because he's got a little rock and he likes to climb and a little log. So sorry if you can hear that. Anyway, this is my MOSI Sweater timeline that I am trying to stick to because I want to get the MOSI Sweater done by June. Let me get it out and show you because I have a little bit more done. Okay, you probably can't tell, but I am further down in this color work on the body than I was last week. And I'm trying to do, like, my goal is kind of an inch per week. That sounds like nothing, but I have not had much time. I need like a whole day to just knit on this, which I have not had, but maybe it will happen a little bit at our knitting hangout today. Although when we host, I kind of feel like I'm up talking to people and kind of hosting instead of knitting. So hopefully I get a little time to work on this today. But anyway, that comes back to my MOSI timeline. I just wanted to show you the MOSI if you haven't been here before and you're wondering what this is. It is a fingering weight, lace weight sweater that I'm trying to knit by June, which I have time. I can do this if I just stick to this timeline. So that is my timeline for MOSI. I am currently ahead of schedule. I wanted to knit the yoke and divide for sleeves by the end of January, and I've already done that. And so I'm on to the body, which is great. And I just have to keep trucking and keep going on this schedule. February, knit body. March, knit body, hem, and ribbing. So I need to get through that whole body in February and March. And then I have April, sleeve, May, sleeve, and then a little extra time in case I fall behind. But I just can't. So I'm staying on task, and this helps me in case I forget where I am, but I think I know where I am, and I just like to have this, and then I get to do a little check box when I finish. That's like my reward. You get to make a little check next to it, or maybe I'll get a sticker when I finish the body. I will reward myself in sticker form. So these are easy things you can do in your own way. I keep it really simple. And this is like my notebook, but it's also my planner, but it's also my dumping ground for ideas and lists of all kinds. But this is just kind of, it helps to see, I think, how other people do this. And I love seeing how other people, there's probably really, I know there is, really good planner videos. If you just want planner videos, this is not probably, I'm not the best source for this, but if you're a knitter, this is how I do it. Also, I've got a Iceland packing list. This is just like my things to do, like my big things to do. This is like my flight, my accommodations when I get there. I need to find a park, sleep, fly hotel in Minneapolis because I'm flying direct out of Minneapolis. It's going to be amazing. I have to get trip insurance, cell phone plan, credit card with no foreign transaction fees. I just have to make sure I have the right one and let my bank know I'm traveling. It's like that kind of stuff. And then I put stuff about the fly bus and the gray line. There's like bus lines when I get there. And then I have my official Iceland packing list from Helene Magnusson that she requires us to bring like some serious hiking stuff and gear. And so that is my big list. I'm not going to check any of these little check boxes I made until I actually pack that in my bag. And so I just have it ready to go here. And then I have my own packing list of like more specific things to me that I want to bring, like these exact things, like my chargers and my GoPro and my Smart Wool underlayers and my Lumos knitting light, because we are knitting on this trip. Anyway, this is just, little lists. And whenever I make a little list, I usually put these little hand-drawn check boxes so I can check them off as I really pack for this trip. And this list is going to get a lot longer. This is just the first basic things I thought of. And I always add to these lists as I get closer to the thing because I have to look through all my stuff and figure out exactly what I'm doing. That's a whole thing. But really good for packing, really good for planning, really good for any kind of knitting planning you're doing. And I'll show you more of that. And we're going to do some pages together because I have so many ideas for pages. And once you set them up, you can come back to them later and fill them in throughout the year. So yeah, that's just kind of a little start to how I use a bullet journal as a knitter. And then let me show you my actual planning pages. Actually, I'm going to pause and I'm going to try to go get Hinterland tickets right now, and they're going to be very hard to get. I'm afraid they're going to go really fast. And Hinterland is a big music festival that happens every summer outside of Des Moines, Iowa, where I live. And the lineup is really good this year, like Lollapalooza type artists. So the Friday, and this happens in August, but we have to buy our tickets now. Friday is Tyler, the Creator, who I really want to see badly. Saturday, Casey Musgraves, and then Sunday is Lana Del Rey and Bleachers. And so I'm going to try to get a GA ticket. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it, but wish me luck. And I'm going to go do that now, and then I'll get back to my planners. Update, got my Hinterland ticket, and I can't even believe I got one. And that was a crazy stressful queue that I was in. I had a pre-sale code, but the queue, I knew it was going to be nuts because Lana Del Rey and Tyler, the Creator, people will come from far and wide to come to this show. Last year they had Chapel Roan, and it was like sold out, impossible to get tickets. It was nuts. So but I had a pre-sale code. I think they did a better job with the tickets this year, that you got a better shot at it. You were put in a random place in the line, but I had to wait for this little bar to go across my screen. And I think I sat there for 15 minutes just watching it go across. And I was like, I'm probably not going to get tickets. It's going to be sold out, because I didn't want to pay the highest level. I got the lowest level GA ticket I could get. But I really wanted to go, and so I'm very excited. My family's not interested in going, but this is one that I've gotten to by myself before, and it's kind of out in an Iowa field, but they're kind of revamping the area this year, and it's going to be a big, beautiful festival that's like all weekend long in August. So I'm really excited. I got my ticket, now I can relax, and moving on with my planner and the rest of this stuff. Okay, so Dinah's really relieved that we got tickets, and I'm feeling so excited that that worked out. I just did not think it would, but it did, and that was great. So I'll get back to my planning in a bit, but I just got the sweetest surprise package from my friends at Purl Soho, and I did not expect this at all. I was like, what did I order? I was confused. And I'm kind of not an affiliate, but just like a big fan of theirs, and I love sharing their products. I love knitting with their yarns. I am still working on that Purl Soho blanket that I started last year with linen quill. But I just love Purl Soho, and I've designed for them before, and I want to do more. I need to have time to like do more, but they're really, really kind and sweet. They sent me this cute little Happy New Year little note, sending warm wishes for your creative 2025. May it be filled with bright ideas, joyful colors, and tons of inspiration. Look how cute that is. I'm totally taking this tassel and putting it on one of my little scissors, like my embroidery scissors. That is too cute. And then they sent spot soap. Look how adorable this is. Let's open it. And for like spot cleaning your sweaters, especially like this, like Lopey sweaters, it's so perfect for that because you don't really have to wash wool all the time. Look, it has a little Purl Soho logo in it. It smells so good, like orange and maybe lavender. Okay, let's read it. Spot soap uses the natural power of orange oil to gently remove most stains. Use it on hand knits as well as most other fabrics. 4 ounces, made in the USA. Look how cute. It's like a perfect square block. It has organic sunflower, coconut, palm, and safflower oil, essential oils of orange and lavender, and rosemary extract. That is lovely. I love this. I will totally use it for little spots here and there. That is so cool. I love this. Natural stain remover. And then I got 2 skeins of their new yarn Till. This is 100% in Andean Highland wool. It is a really generous skein. Like it's really squishy and big, and it looks like worsted weight. 136 yards, 100 grams, 14 to 17 stitches per 4 inches on a US 8 to 10 needle, 5 to 6.5 millimeter needle, hand wash coal, lay flat to dry, made in Peru. It is beautiful. I love this tomato orange. It's so nice. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I totally have been looking at all the different hoods and little, like the, I don't know, like there's like little hooded things. And then there's also the petite knit Sophie scarf that's bigger like a hood. I don't know if this is enough to do that. It might be though. Or just another Sophie scarf, or like those things are just so in right now. And there's also a little, not the Jose, but there's another little balaclava that I had in my queue. I think that this might work for, but I don't know. I have to go look around. It's so cheery and fun, and Till feels really nice. It's very round and squishy and nice, and I'm excited to try this. And there's like a little, I have to see what's in here. It's like their Purl Soho color. Look at that, like the logo color. I love it. Oh, nice. It's little swatch cards for Till. Oh, there's a chartreuse that I really like. Cute. That is so cute. So lemongrass yellow and true teal are these colors. That's adorable. Thank you, Purl Soho friends. That is so sweet and nice, and what a fun surprise. Speaking of Purl Soho, go check out their clearance section right now. I think it says sale or clearance at the top of their website. And they have a whole bunch of discontinued yarns in their sale section right now, and it's totally worth checking out. They also have 25% off their spindle yarn right now, which is also awesome. And go check out all the colors of Till. I just went and looked at all the colors, and they're really great, and I can't wait to start knitting with this new base. Back to planners. This is the little journal planner I'm using kind of as my day-to-day, monthly, weekly, that kind of planner. And it comes with some cool little sticker sheets and this little folder thingy. And it has like really nice monthly, yearly pages like this. And then it has them broken down into like a calendar form. And then I kind of skipped some of that because it started in November. I didn't get it till January. But here's like my January layout of, you know, things that are happening that I need to remember. And then it breaks it down by week, which is really nice with these bigger sections that you can draw and write in. I really like that layout. And then I did February as well. So this is kind of my journal for that type of thing. Not really a journal, but more of a calendar planner, like a regular one. And yeah, it just has lots of spaces there. Bowie's gonna love this one because it has a little turtle. But the only thing I don't like about this is the back binding is already starting to peel off, and I'm gonna have to like glue that down, but no big deal. It's just a really nice little inexpensive, kind of cute, like it already has little drawings in it, and it just kind of inspires me to doodle and write and kind of get each day down and figure out what's going on in my life. Like both of my kids have February birthdays. I am planning this graduation already. It's all happening really fast, and this kind of helps keep me on track. I also use, you know, the calendar on my phone, but this helps me even write down daily goals and things like that. And I also love this little notebook for that. Like a daily to-do list will go here or in here, like things I need to get done this week, meetings, Zoom calls, that kind of stuff. I put it in here because this journal is more, it's not that. So that's why I use different ones, and that's what goes into each one, kind of. So you can go totally crazy with the stickers. There's so many out there. I just limit myself to one little book of stickers for like rewards and remembering things and marking things. And this is a nice little book that I got whenever, last year, I think. They just have fun little, you know, vacation, take a break stickers, get groceries, have fun little rewards. So when you accomplish something, you can give yourself a sticker. And what else? These are kind of multiples: dinner, meeting, coffee. That's kind of fun. Birthday, check marks, and little stars. And so I just, you know, whenever I feel like a sticker, I will put one of these in there. Not a big deal. You don't have to have stickers. It's just kind of fun. Okay, let's take a closer look at how I set these books up if you'd like to know more. This is another planner I have that's more dated that I can't really show you because I have some stuff in there that I can't really talk about yet. But let's look at my bullet journal. And if you happen to have a bullet journal or just an empty book that you want to write in, go grab it and we can do this together, because there's some ideas I have for pages that you can set up now and then you can add to them later. But it's up to you, or you can just watch and see kind of what I do. You don't have to do anything this way. You can do it however you want. But let's say on this page, I want to make a little tab on the side so I can find it easily, because this is one I'm marking in almost every day. And so I'm just going to take a piece of tape, and to make it nice, I'm going to cut off the little edges. Not that it's a big deal, but it's just the way I like to do it. And I'm just going to make a tab on this page so that I can find it easily. So I'm going to get another piece of tape about that same size. It doesn't have to be exact. And it's okay if they don't line up perfectly. I'm just kind of halfway trying. And then you can make yourself a little tape tab so that page is easy to find and it will stick out just a little bit from your planner. And I can use my other tapes to kind of color code things. Like in my mind, that is the yellow page that I'm coloring every day for my knitting tracker. So that's just one little thing you can do to make things easy to find, because it's going to be very random. Like the next few pages in this are going to be, you know, some travel stuff and then some knitting stuff mixed in. So this kind of helps organize it just the tiniest bit, and it's really easy to do. You can also use the little ribbon bookmarks that come with your journal for certain things, but there's only 2 of those. So sometimes I use a random postcard or something like this as a bookmark to stick in there, especially on my MOSI Sweater timeline. Things I want to find quickly, I kind of stick different things in here, and then that kind of marks my place. The other beautiful thing about Leuchtturm planners is, if you can see it, the tiny dots. There's a dot grid on every page, which is perfect for redrawing charts that you might want to recolor. Like maybe you want to color a chart in different colors with colored pencils. It's great for sketching out sweater ideas or chart ideas, color work ideas. And so I do love that this dot grid is kind of your playground, and you can do so much with that. You can also use it with a ruler to line things up and make little grids or make little boxes. I don't do that a lot. I like to freehand it just because I'm lazy, but this is nice if you just have a little ruler. You can line up the dots and make little graphs and charts and whatever you want to do. You do not need a ton of supplies to start a journal. You just really need a blank book and a pen, but the washi tape is really fun, and you can get these in little packs of different colors, and I think it's just kind of a fun way to add things in and tape things down. And then my favorite pens that I use all the time are from Muji, but you can use any pen. I love the Pentec felt tip pens as well, but the Muji 0.5 pen, like it's a gel pen, I think, is my favorite, and also the ballpoint pen. And then they also have like little wooden ones, and I just have a highlighter stuck in here, and that's really all you need. A Sharpie will bleed through, but sometimes I use a Sharpie anyway. But I mean, you don't need a lot. You don't need a whole bunch of stickers or anything. You can just kind of go for it with what you have. But those are my favorite writing utensils. I just love the Muji pens. And I think you can get them, sometimes they're on Amazon too, but you can just get them from Muji. You can order them, or if you live by a store, you're super lucky. So let me go through my page ideas and what is in my journal, because some of them are knitting related and some are not. And these are just ideas, and maybe this will get you kind of thinking and brainstorming about what you want to do in your journal. I make several to-do lists and done lists. I make them over and over and over again. You can make as many as you want because they're kind of ongoing. So I will make a new to-do list and then, check things off and make a done list. Or, I'll take things off of my old to-do list and add them to my new list, but it's just kind of an ongoing thing. So I make those all the time, and you can just add them anywhere you want in your book. When I make a title, and I'll show you in a minute, I just make a box around my title at the top or my subject, and then write in below it. So here's some knitting ideas for pages. You can make a 2-knit list, like my 2-page list of things I want to make. Some of it's from my Ravelry queue. You can make a what I made list, a make 9 list if you want to do make 9. I don't really put pressure on myself to do that, but it's fun. You can do a goal tracker, knit every day, or some other goal, any goal that you have. Or you can do a stitch tracker. Maybe you are timing your rows or your rounds and you want to keep track of things that way and see how long it takes you to make something, or plan how much time you need to finish something. You can include sketches and drawings, like I was showing you with the little bullet or the grid in the background. It makes sketches and drawings really easy and fun. You can do schematics and measurements. You can make your dream knit list, even if it's super unrealistic, kind of like mine. You can make a list of whips, which is nice to help keep track of things you might have forgotten about that are on your needles. Knitting charts, these are great if you want to redraw a knitting chart and recolor it in your own colors with markers or colored pencils. You can kind of plan and think about fiber festivals and travel planning related to your knitting or not. You can do sweater deadline planning, like what I've been doing with my MOSI. That's a great way to track that and kind of make some plans for something that you're trying to finish by a certain date. You can do knitting goals for the year, things you might want to design, and kind of plans to go through all that whole process. You can have daily knitting goals or monthly knitting goals or weekly. You can break that down however you want. You can take a look at knits you are wearing and how often. I've seen that a lot now, where people track, like, I have worn this sweater 18 times this year, and they break down even the cost of what that sweater cost in yarn, to see how much they're wearing these knits and what are their most worn knits and their less worn knits. You can keep track of the yarn you have in your stash and the yarn you might be looking for. So next time you go to a fiber festival, maybe you have this list in your backpack or in your bag, and you can check and see, like, oh yeah, I was looking for this yarn quantity for this sweater. You can use this as a project planner, and you can go through every step of a project and plan out each thing as, you know, as detailed as you want. And then you can go through the action steps to complete that project. I do this a lot, and I'm doing this in that other planner that I can't really show you, but it's a big project and I have to break it down, and this really is a good way to do that. You can write down your sweater measurements, all the different measurements you're thinking about, and you can do that for loved ones or people that you knit for as well, and have one place for all of that. You can make a page for the things you finished this year, so you can kind of keep track as you go and keep adding to that page. And that's something I would mark with a little piece of tape so I could keep finding that over and over again. And then as far as if you want to just start a journal, there's some little prompts that can kind of help you think of where to start with that too. Because when you first start a journal, it is kind of intimidating sometimes. I think with a blank page in front of me, I'm like, ooh, where do I start? So just start with, where does your year or your event take place? Like, if someone looks back on this, you know, if my kids come find my journal someday, you know, I might want, you know, where we were living or what we were doing. And then you need to include who is there, what's happening and what happened, headline events, like the main things. And then you're going to include the tiny mundane things too. Like, what colors and images do you associate with that time? Maybe you've collected little things like what I do when I travel. And these things remind me of a trip that I took to an LA museum with my kids, and this is what we saw, and that reminds me of that exact time. You can include all those little things, and ticket stubs, movie tickets, concert tickets, all that stuff. That's my favorite stuff to include in my journal. So I put that under the category of things you've collected. That can be anything, and I am a hoarder of like little matchbooks and little notepads and tiny things from my travels. That like kind of brings me joy to look back on that stuff. Then you can write down like what you've made, what you've been sewing, what you've been knitting, anything you've been making, what you've been watching on TV, what movies you've seen, what music you've been listening to, what's in your Spotify playlist, what have you been into, like books you're reading, anything you're into. Of course, milestones, anything like that. If you have kids or grandkids, things your kids say, you know, funny little things. I have a whole list for Bowie and a whole list for Lotus of things they have said over the years, and they're hilarious because I quickly forget all the little funny phases we've had and the things they've said. Write down what you like to eat, baking stuff and recipes, things that are kind of your favorites right now, or if you're in a rut, it's kind of fun to look back on that and remember things you used to make that you can kind of bring back into the cycle. Dinner ideas, And then I have a page for design ideas, things I want to design that don't exist yet, but maybe I have like a photo from somewhere else or a Pinterest board going, or just writing down ideas. Like I want to make this kind of a sweater in these sizes, just design ideas. They can be very random. Nothing has to be perfect. And then I always do like travel planning for my family and myself, and concerts that I've gone to and that kind of planning stuff too, and tickets. So those are just some ideas to kind of get you started. If you're not sure where to start with your journal, any of that stuff is fair game. And you know, any of your ideas that branch off of that are great places to start. So let's make a page together, and this is just gonna be a random one, but I'll kind of show you how you can set these things up, and it doesn't really matter. But I'm just gonna freehand a box that's like half of my page-ish, and I'm gonna make another one for the bottom half of the page. And again, look how imperfect. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be perfect. You can use a ruler if you want to, but it's not a big deal if you don't want to. So this is gonna be my stash page, yarn I have and yarn I'm looking for. So I'm just gonna put yarn I have. Maybe I'll make that a box. I like to box things in. Yarn I'm looking for. So for my personal page, it's gonna be yarn I already have for projects that I already wanna make. Like I know I have some sweater quantities downstairs, and I'm gonna list that here when I go down and look at that. And yarn I'm looking for, I know I'm looking for yarn for a northerny sweater. And possibly another Felix pullover. And this way I can go look up those sweater quantities and see how much yarn I need and what kind, and I can list it here. So the next time I'm somewhere where I can get yarn, I can look at this page and remember what I was looking for. Next, I am making just a little to-do list for the week of January 27th, which is this next week, which how is that possible? And I'm just gonna write this week. This is gonna be like a weekly to-do list for, I have a bunch of stuff happening this week. I'm gonna fill it in later, but I've got a checkbox for each one so I can check it off as done when I complete it. And you can do this for a day, you can do this for a month, but this week I just kind of need one like this. And then if I have extra notes and stuff, I can put that down here. This just gives me a spot to work this out and figure out what I need to do. I've got like my daughter's birthday party, I have to pick up cupcakes, I have a whole bunch of stuff that's happening this week, so I'm gonna fill this in later, but this is just a little framework to get me started. So let's say I want to start a project planning page. So this is just how I do it. I'm gonna write the project title, and I'm just gonna make its own box. It's gonna be poorly drawn. That's for the project title. Next, I'll put the deadline. And that has its own line. Maybe that has a box too, just because I think that looks better. And then I want action items. This is how I'm gonna get it done. And I used to have a planner that had little boxes for this. And I liked that. Maybe some are rectangles because I have to fill up my page and I kind of did it wrong. That's okay. They can be random sizes. And you can put dates in here or bullet points or whatever you want, however you like to organize things. I like to do like calendar dates and then maybe drawings, maybe little, I don't know, I do a lot of outlining and bullet points and lists, so that kind of fits in here. But this is like, you know, I can put a sweater design in here and we have to talk about what we have to do. We have to do tech edits, we have to do drawings, we have to do schematics, we have to do swatches. And so all of these little bits of information can fit on this page and maybe next door to this page as well. And that's how I kind of start things, is by building a framework to put the things in, and then I can put the things in later. So that's my whole entire strategy. I just basically write a title or a heading at the top and I put it in a box. I do like to incorporate a little cursive because I still love writing in cursive. And then I love a hand-drawn checkbox. I love to check things off when I'm done. So this is basically, you know, what I do. I love like the little half-page boxes. I love marking things off and, you know, breaking things down into smaller pieces. So that is kind of how I set up my journal in the beginning of a year, and then fill things in as I go. And just remember, it doesn't have to be perfect, and you can do it however you want. I hope that was at least a tiny bit interesting or helpful in case you're thinking about doing something like this. I think it's a very cool habit to get the hang of and kind of incorporate into your life. I love handwritten anything. And I think it's even just a cool thing to look back on for myself later on, but for other people too. I was inspired to do this when I had like a diary as a kid, because my grandpa did this for years and decades, so many years. He had these little tiny little notebooks that he would write down every single day, his daily activities, the things he did when we came to visit and what we did. And it's the coolest thing to look back on in his handwriting, almost like his internal monologue. And I think it's the most beautiful thing. Even if nobody cares about my knitting plans or whatever in the future, they might think it's cool to see like my sweater patterns in written form, or my idea process while I was creating things, or the pages of what my kids said over the years and different things like that. It is like a cool thing to sort of leave behind. Like I have a little, stack of volumes of these from different years, and I don't know. It's it's a cool thing. If however you go about it, it's just kind of neat. I just am a nerd for handwriting and people's like thoughts and drawings and art. It's like a little bit of art that's imperfect and unpolished and not meant for the world to see. And I don't know, I think it's special. And it's also so helpful for planning and thinking through ideas and I don't know, so many things. It's just a cool thing. And I encourage you to give it a try if you haven't before. Any notebook, you can use just a lined spiral bound notebook. You can use anything you have and just start, and just doesn't have to be perfect. Just start today and see where it takes you, because I think it's a lot of fun. That is all I have for today. Thank you so much for hanging out here with me through all the random topics of today. It was a lot of stuff. That's just what's happening. This week has been weird. Everything's kind of weird, and this is what it is. So thank you so much for all your likes, for subscribing, for hitting the notification bell. All those little things really help out my channel. It doesn't seem like it does anything, but it really helps me out. So thank you for doing that. Thanks for your amazing comments. I love reading them every week. Thanks for taking the time to do that. And I make a new video every Saturday morning, so stop back next week for something new. I have no idea what it'll be yet, but probably a recap of our Best Fiber Friends Hangout Knitting Day that's happening today, and maybe that sewing class that's happening tomorrow, and then other random knitting stuff. But thank you for hanging out. Please take care, have a good day, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.